What's going on, guys? This is Matt Kowalis. Some of you know me from Detroit Sports Bettors, the sports gambling community that can be found on Facebook and Twitter. A lot of free picks and plays going on every single day, so feel free to go check that out. In addition to that, some of you know me from SportsMemo and WagerTalk. My official picks and plays for the NFL, UFC, and NBA are all over there. And on this video, this is where we have the free picks and plays series. We went 2-1 last week. And if you want more free picks and plays, please check out my Twitter at moneyline__Matt. I give a ton of free picks and plays, same game parlays, a little bit of everything. And then in addition to that, I have been hitting the TikToks a little bit more. I've been breaking down the Thursday night football. I'm going to start breaking down Monday night football. So if you want to check that out, again, that is moneyline__Matt. Would greatly appreciate it. Again, though, we are coming off a profitable week, 2-1. We hit the New England Patriots and Miami Dolphins under 44.5. We hit the Minnesota Vikings -1.5, sweat free, baby. And then we missed the New Orleans Saints -5.5. Whatever. They won the game. It is what it is. But moving on, and we're going to get started right now. We want to get these videos as quick as possible. And we are going to start with our very own Detroit Lions going against the Washington Commanders. And I am taking our own Detroit Lions -1.5 in this one. With this game, okay, I do believe that the Washington Commanders are riding somewhat of a high. And the Detroit Lions, they're just kind of used to this. You know what I mean? The Philadelphia Eagles are one of the better teams throughout the NFL. I am telling you guys. They have a great offensive line. They have a great defensive line. And we were able to run the football pretty well and, score points. So now going against the Washington Commanders with Carson Wentz, they look good. They look good at home against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Yeah, the Detroit Lions had a much tougher test. They just have something with Dan Campbell, with the city, everyone getting around them. They are a never say die team. Well, the Washington Commanders, on the other hand, they haven't really felt any adversity just yet, and I think they're going to find it in Detroit. Carson Wentz has been known to turn the football over, and I think that could very well happen in this game. It's a -1.5 spread, one of the first times the Lions have been favored in years, and I think they get it done in this one, so I'm going to take the Lions at -1.5. Yes, DeAndre Swift is questionable right now, but again, Jamal Williams, a very capable backup. So I feel comfortable even if Swift does miss, even though last game he showed that he might be having a breakout season in 2022. So definitely keep an eye on him there. Now, moving on to my next pick. This is going to be the Green Bay Packers at home facing the Chicago Bears. In this one, the Green Bay Packers are -9.5, and I need everyone to relax because we're going with the Green Bay Packers -9.5 here. This is something that the Green Bay Packers have done over the course of a couple seasons now, actually. They got absolutely spanked last year by the New Orleans Saints, still ended up going 13-4. This Chicago Bears team is trash, okay? They're absolutely trash. Let's be honest. Go watch the film. Go watch the film. I watched portions of that game back last night, and they greatly benefited from how wet Chicago was during that game or over the course of 3 or 4 days, because they had a San Francisco 49ers team come in with Trey Lance. Their running back, Elijah Mitchell, goes down with a knee injury, so he exits the game early. Trey Lance really couldn't do that much. And again, it was a torrential downpour. I don't know if he's ever played in anything like that before. So again, the Bears came back. They won the game. Justin Fields moved the ball. Now they're going to Green Bay, and I think it's going to be far more difficult. I think this Green Bay Packers team is going to have a chip on their shoulder. Last week in week 1, the Green Bay Packers were missing both of their tackles. They both are potentially set to return in week 2. And I think they're going to have a better game schematically for the Chicago Bears than what happened with the Minnesota Vikings. I think when they play in Green Bay, there's just something where they never want to let that crowd down. And it's tough for me to see this Chicago Bears team staying within 10 points, even though the Packers just really sucked last week against the Minnesota Vikings. So with that being said, though, I'm going to be going with the Green Bay Packers at -9.5. Allen Lazard could be making a return. And you got to remember, Christian Watson drops a 75-yard touchdown that could have changed the complete roadmap of the game. In addition to that, A.J. Dillon got stopped on the 1-yard line. Again, A.J. Dillon's a tough back to stop on the 1-yard line, so shout out the Minnesota Vikings. But I just don't think that's going to happen with the Chicago Bears here. So again, I'm going to be going with the Green Bay Packers -9.5 in this one. Moving on to the New York Jets and the Cleveland Browns. No, we are not going with a spread here. We're actually going to be going with the, no, definitely not over. Under 40.5 points for the Jets and the Cleveland Browns. Okay. The Cleveland Browns are at home in this one. And in my eyes, with Jacoby Brissett as the quarterback, I think they're going to run the shit out of the football, especially against the New York Jets. The New York Jets, on the other hand, have Joe Flacco, so there's not going to be that many explosive plays. The Browns have the better defense as well. So I think this Browns defense is going to be able to stop the New York Jets pretty well here. They're going to punt the football, and Cleveland is going to depend on the run game. So I think this is going to be a very slow game. There's not going to be a ton of explosive plays. The Jets defense actually looked pretty solid against the Ravens last week. If your offense isn't moving the football whatsoever, the opposing team's offense is going to score. Your defense can only be out there for so long. Now, with the Cleveland Browns, on the other hand, I do think that this Jets team will get some stops here. Again, Jacoby Brissett is the quarterback. This is not the most potent offense in the world for the Cleveland Browns. They got great running backs. They like to depend on their run game. They like to run play action football. And, that's really about it. It's pretty simple right now. And because of that, I don't think many points are going to be scored. Again, I think it's going to be slow. So give me that under 40.5 in this one. Moving on to our next play, and this one, I don't know how many people are going to be on this one, I'll be honest with you, but I'm going right back to my 49ers. I am going right back to my San Francisco 49ers. They are minus 8.5 right now, which I know that does seem like a lot, but I'm riding it. The Seattle Seahawks, they're facing the Seattle Seahawks. The Seattle Seahawks are coming off that huge win over that Denver Bronco team, riding that big high, and when what goes up must come down. And that's what I'm saying with the Seattle Seahawks. Now the San Francisco 49ers are coming home, far more comfortable playing at home. That Seattle Seahawks team has a terrible offensive line. They have a terrible defensive line. They had two rookie tackles that were absolutely dominating for a large portion of the game. And then all of a sudden you saw Bradley Chubb come alive. Bradley Chubb had 2 sacks coming off that edge. Now you're going to go against Nick Bosa. Now you're going to go against Teron Armstead. Now Fred Warner at the middle linebacker. This is a really good San Francisco 49er team. Their defense is lights out. I think the Seattle Seahawks got a huge boost from their crowd, a huge boost knowing that Russell Wilson was coming to town. So I actually think you're getting a slight discount on this price. Do not forget who this San Francisco 49er team is. They are potentially the best team in that division. I personally had them ahead of the LA Rams. This is a team that made the NFC Championship last year. Again, they are still very, very dangerous, okay? Trey Lance played in a torrential downpour. George Kittle should be coming back. That's a huge weapon added to the team. Okay, so again, I'm going to be going with the San Francisco 49ers at minus 8.5 in this one. Again, I know it's a little risky, and we're taking some large spreads this week. But again, we're 2-1. We're looking to add on to it now. So with that being said, let's recap all of the picks for this week. Starting, we'll go right back to it. San Francisco 49ers minus 8.5. We have the Green Bay Packers minus 9.5 at the Chicago Bears. Then we have the Cleveland Browns and the New York Jets under 40.5. And we got our very own, other way, Detroit. Damn, this is tougher than it looks. Detroit Lions minus 1.5. Getting the first victory of the season and first time being favored in years. I think they get it done here. So with that being said, guys, again, I am Matt Kowalis from Detroit Sports Bettors, Sports Memo, WagerTalk. We're all over the place right now, and I greatly appreciate you guys for tuning in every single week. Hey, again, 2-1 last week. Follow me on all platforms. I do picks and plays all over the place, but let's get these wins this week. Let's make this money. Best of luck, y'all. Again, Matt Kowalis, Moneyline Matt on Twitter, Moneyline Matt on TikTok. Again, let's get this money. Peace out, y'all.